Hey everybody, this is JD Gaming back today with what's become a yearly tradition on my channel, an opening of the Megatins. So this is actually the jankiest case I've ever seen, because although they usually have, 12 cases, 6 and 6, this year they're doing 7 Jaidens and 5 𝗖𝗢𝗧 for some reason. But nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and open up one of each of these right now for you guys on camera, and then I'll do kind of a recap of what I pulled in the entire case, as well as the promo packs at the end, just because I know some people have seen that stuff, and some people are only here for just the opening portion of this. So we're just testing the waters with this new format, but I feel like it'll be pretty good. Obviously, if you want to see the whole thing, you can go see the whole thing. Like, nothing's stopping you. But this way, you could just see the Nebula Neos, and it's one tin, and then you could see the rest of it. All right, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's a package change or if this is like the European version or something, because I did order this case online, but I've never seen my stuff that I've opened be packaged like this, but I believe Europe always does that. So we'll set the promo pack aside for, the end with the recap, just because I know some of you guys have already seen it. And let's get right into these Megatins. Woo, mega packs. Total failure there, Ooh, we got something good, I guess. We always get something good. We got Self-Destructant, and then a bunch of commons. I'll flip through these fairly quickly. Set Rotation's a good common. Pendulamucho is our super rare. Then we got 𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗘𝗘𝗘 as our secret rare. I like that. And we got Altergeist Prime Banshee, pretty cool looking Ultra. And then we got Twin Triangle Dragon as just a rare. So I'll just set them kind of like here for now. And then we got Mahjong Munio Maidens and a bunch of other rando common cards here. So we'll go through that, and we'll just set that aside here. So overall, good mix of stuff, I suppose, and that's not a bad thing. I honestly have been buying so many Korean cards these days that anything new, ooh, Demise, would be pretty cool, or unexpected like that Demise. We got Lila, Twilight Sworn Enchantress. Then we got Secret Rare Overdone Burial. I remember this thing has potential, a bit restrictive, but I don't know, it's interesting, especially with it sold around for now. It's an interesting card. And we got Trickstar Candina, not a bad ultra rare, not the most expensive of course, but it's still the Stratos of the theme, so I like that. And we got Recall from Coda the Duelist, kind of like a pair there. Dance, I love this artwork. It's just hilarious how Digreffer isn't all that he thinks he is there. Then we got this last pack for the Jaiden tin. Overall, so far, I like the lack of duplicates. I was a bit worried about pulling like way too many Vendreads and stuff based on what I've heard, but so far so good. I think we're getting a nice variety of stuff, and that's fun to open. We got Ultrageist Manifestation. Then we got Saryuja Skull Dread, baby. This is awesome. So I do have an ultimate Korean version that I'm playing, so I haven't seen a secret rare English, but man, this looks nice. I still can't get over the fact that this thing draws you 4 unless you put away 3. Then we got Magna Rocket Dragon, which I thought was an exclusive in like in an OCG Link Vrains box, but I suppose not. And we got Metal Rocket Dragon as well. So we got Guidance again, just because, the Emerging Emergency Rescue. Love that card. And then, yeah, so far, first tin's pretty solid. We've got that Saryuja. Let's see how 𝗖𝗢𝗧 fares. Again, 𝗖𝗢𝗧, for whatever reason, is short printed in this case. You only get a handful of him, 5 of him, versus the 7 of the Jaidens, and I don't know if they're intentionally trying to do something with like the ratios of what tins are available. We got Junk Speeder on the cover here, which looks fairly cool. And then again, we'll open the promo pack at the end, just because that's not really random. Not everyone's here for the specific things that are always exactly the same. So we'll set aside the speeder on the side, and we'll get these open. Let's see if we can beat what we got in the previous tin. So starting off this time, we got some FA cards. Grapple Angler in English, that's a good target for his sold. Then we got 𝗢𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗘, World Chalice Priestess, always a solid link 2 to have. We got Firewall Dragon. All right, you say, pulling in the big guns here. And we got Trickstar Holly Angel is a cool monster as well. 3 link monsters, all foil. They look very nice there. We got World Legacy Whispers as well. So yeah, if we keep this up, 𝗖𝗢𝗧 is gonna destroy Jaiden here. And that's actually not an easy thing to do, considering Saryuja is just one of the coolest things to pull in this entire set. So we'll see how we go from here. Then we got Baboon, I love that in Metal Foes. We got the Nimble Beaver dude. Ultrageist Manifestation. We got Inspector Border. I was was looking to pull close to a playset of these, so hopefully we can get some of these. I love this guy because I love stun decks, and he fits right in that alley. And then we got Trickstar Catbat, or Black Catbat as well, which is a card I never pulled even in the Korean version, so it's kind of nice to have that for collection's sake. And we got World Armor as well. And then got the rest of these guys. Overall, I'm liking where this tin is going. We got some pretty usable stuff here, and that's always good. And like even the Firewall Dragon, I know it's not like the craziest thing right now because people don't know, oh, is it gonna get banned or added or something, but like it didn't have an English one, so that's cool. We got another Demise in this tin, and let's see, got Ultrageist Protocol, got another 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 just to even everything out here, and then we got another Magna Rocket Dragon as our Ultra as well. So overall, I like how things went here. It looks like I ended up kind of showing it, but we got Ruin and Demise in the same pack, which is quite a nice throwback to Shadow of Infinity way back in the GX years. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do a quick recap and then show the promo cards as well. Now it's time for my absolute favorite parts of these larger product openings. Time to do a close-up, zoom-in review of what we pulled. So I'm only going through the Ultras and the Secrets because a lot of the supers aren't really chase cards or anything, and we have a lot to go through otherwise. So this is an entire case, 12 tins with 3 mega packs each. That's 36 Ultras and 36 Secrets, and then I'll go through one each of the promo packs as well. So starting off here, we have a single Ultrageist Prime Banshee, looks very nice. Got a Goki Thunder or Ogre as well, and then 2 each of Trickstar Holly Angel, as well as Trickstar Black Catbat. And then we have, for our main deck monsters, effect monsters, Ultrageist Marionette, a single copy, double Majesty Maiden, the True Draco Caster, and double Miriam, the Draco Phoenix. And then we have, I believe it was 2, maybe 3, yeah, 2 copies of Salvagent Driver, and then a pair of World Chalice Guard Dragon as well. Then we got a full playset of Lee, the World Chalice Fairy, which is awesome because this is probably enough for me to start building World Chalice stuff to play around with. And we got a full playset of Trickstar Candina as well, which is one of the better things to pull multiples of. And then this was an anomaly. I pulled 5 copies of Magna Rocket Dragon, which is much more than any other Ultra between, you know, any of the types. So that was odd. Then we got 1 Spellbook of Knowledge. Kind of wish I pulled more of these, but it did bring the price of this card down, so I'm glad for that. We got a pair of Trickstar Light Stage, which looks gorgeous in this rarity, better than the Korean commons and the OCG commons in general. Then we have True Draco Heritage, a pair of those, excuse me. Then we have a playset of Arrival Rivals, and then just a pair of World Legacy's Secrets. So overall, a nice variety in things. Magna Rocket Dragon seemed to be like the extra pulled anomaly card again, but you know, overall is pretty solid. And then the Secrets, we have a gorgeous Borreload Dragon. Then we have Saryuja Skull Dread, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite as a single copy, and 2 copies of Firewall Dragon. Not bad for a case, I would say. Pretty much one of each of these guys. Plus we got a spare Firewall Dragon as well. Only 1 Supreme King Zark, which I can't complain about at all, because, you know, no one really wants to pull multiples of that card. Then we got an Inspector Border. I think this thing has fallen to about $4 a piece at the moment, so I'll have to pick up 2 more of those and build, you know, some kind of stun deck with them. Then we have Lumina. I believe this is a pair of the Twilight Sworn Shaman. Then we got a single Mech Knight Blue Sky, along with 2 copies of Purple Nightfall, which I'll take. You know, that's pretty solid for the Mech Knights. Got a single Rescue Ferret as well. So, you know, talking about variety, got 1 to 2 of most of these guys. We got Vendread Chimera, pair of those. So, kind of glad we didn't pull too many of them. Got Overdone Burial at 1 copy, Quick Launch at 1, and this is pretty much an emergency teleport for rockets, so maybe it has potential going forward. Maybe I'll look into it. We have Dragonic Diagram, 2 of those cards. Then we got 2 copies of the Secret Rare Ultra Polymerization, which just sounds kind of funny to me. And then a full playset of 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, actually. Yeah, just 3. I was worried that this one was another one. But no, we have a playset of Pendulum Paradox, and then we have a playset of Squib Draw, the Draw 2 for rockets. Then we have just 1 Fuse Line, a pair of Evenly Matched, which is quite nice for a case. And then we got a playset of Vendread Reorigin, and you know, yeah, it was one of the most pulled cards as people feared, but I think we did fairly solid considering that, you know, we ended up getting one of all of the things we pretty much wanted. I think it's like random secrets like Ningirsu I didn't pull any of, you know, things like that. But it's like nothing game-breaking or, you know, anything missing from this case. I feel like it was a pretty solid deal getting a case of these things and getting at least one of everything. And we'll open up these promo packs now. So I did take a look at these cards, but I'll go through and kind of just highlight some things about them. So Nebula Neos is pretty sick. You need classic Neospatians to summon this thing, which I think is pretty cool. You get some new flavors of elemental hero monsters from the Neo series. So you need Grand Mole and Dark Panther, and upon summoning this guy through Contact Fusion, you get to draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, regardless of how many you have, which is very different from a lot of those types of effects. And then you get to negate one of their cards on top of that, and when this guy leaves, he takes everything down with him, banishing him face down, which is just pretty neat for a Neos monster. Still not necessarily fixing the theme's problems, but it's definitely a powerful card for the theme. Then we have my personal favorite promo here. Elemental Hero Solid Soldier came out in a Japanese premium pack, and so I was worried if we were going to get this or not. But essentially, it is a hero version of Goblinberg, so you could search it with E-Call or Rhoda, giving you much more access to this guy. Upon normal summon, it lets you go and special summon a level 4 or lower hero from your hand, which is really cool for triggering Shadow Mist. And as if that weren't enough, if this guy is sent from your monster zone to the grave by a spell effect, so Mass Change is common, sometimes you could even poly this guy away, you could go target a hero monster in your graveyard that's not Solid Soldier and special summon it in defense position, again triggering your Shadow Mist. So only can activate that effect once per turn, but definitely look out for a Masked Hero deck profile of this in the coming weeks, because that's going to be a very simple update that I've been looking forward to doing with Solid Soldier, and I'm sure I'll use this in other hero decks as well, because I just love elemental heroes. And then we have Keeper of Dragonic Magic, or Keeper of Dragon Magic. This thing I read for the first time as I was reviewing this set, but essentially, it's an 1800 attack level 4, and when he's summoned, you get to discard a card to add a Polymerization or Fusion normal spell from your deck to your hand, and a bonus effect is you can reveal a fusion monster from your extra deck to revive one of its specifically listed materials from your graveyard in face-down defense position, so you can't contact fuse with it, but you can poly with it based on the card that you just searched. And you can only use each of these effects once per turn, and can only summon fusion monsters from your extra deck during the turn you activate either of its effects. So, a bit restrictive there, but I don't know. It's kind of neat that you're able to search multiple pieces for your fusion summon, but it does restrict you to that. Maybe if you've already gotten a Link monster out, it could be interesting. Mud Dragon of the Swamp is another card I was looking forward to. This thing essentially power creeps most of the level 4 instant fusion targets, because this guy starts out as a level 4 water worm fusion monster. Its materials are any two monsters of the same attribute but different types. We obviously don't have super polymerization anymore, but you can make it so that this guy becomes a different attribute until the end of the turn just by declaring it as a quick effect, so either turn, and then your opponent can't target this card or any monsters on the field that share an attribute with this card, even if it's their own guy with card effects. So pretty interesting step above a lot of the instant fusion targets, and the fact that it's a worm monster, which is a different type, and you know, it's a different name for most of your other guys, means you're pretty much able to use it for a lot of your summons, including like 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 World Chalice Fairies, or 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘 the World Chalice Priestess, excuse me, or you could use it for like Saryuja as just an extra name, or use this for 𝗓𝗓ria Beast because you could turn it into Earth, things like that. So very flexible. I will be using it. And then we have Arcana Extra Joker, which basically plays on the classic Arcana Knight Joker from the Poker Knights that Yugi Moto played. Of course, this guy's face is more King's Knight, so it's kind of funny if you look at it up close. But essentially, this thing supports warrior monsters. It has a protection effect from spells, traps, or monsters depending on the card you discard. It has to be the matching type if it targets this guy or a monster he points to. And then on top of that, if you slam him in battle, maybe into a Saryuja or something that has 2800 attack, or he just loses in battle despite, you know, his heavy attack, then you get to special summon a level 4 warrior normal monster from your deck. So one of the, it's like Queen's Knight or something was the intended card. Then add a warrior from your deck to your hand that's level 4, which is pretty solid because that means you're able to go and, you know, use this thing to search multiple guys. The fact that it has to be a normal monster to search first is kind of a pain, but still an interesting card nonetheless. I feel like if Isolde hadn't existed yet, this card would have been absolutely nuts for warrior decks. Now it's kind of overshadowed, but who knows? Maybe someone will find some use for it. And then for the Yusei side of things, we got Junk Speeder, which looks absolutely gorgeous as a Synchro secret rare. kind of restrictive though. So it's a generic synchro monster other than needing a synchron tuner, and I feel like that's fairly generic because you can play Jet Synchron as pretty much like a Plague Spreader zombie of sorts. As an easy 1, tune it to a 4, you could do things, or just summon your Junk Synchron, and then that'll easily summon a level 5 like this. So yeah, he is restrictive, but as far as synchron monsters goes, he's fairly easy to bring out. And then when he's synchro summoned, you can go and spam out synchron tuners with different levels from your deck, as many as possible in defense position. But the problem is during the entire turn, including before this effect resolves, you can't summon anything that's not a synchro monster from your extra deck. If you could at least link summon before, this would have been playable, but now it's kind of restrictive. Maybe I'll, toy around with it for a bit, but I don't know how useful it will be, unfortunately, based on that clause. But true to its name of Junk Speeder, where it's, of course, what is it called? Speed Warrior. Yeah, just Speed Warrior. This guy is able to double his attack the first turn he's summoned to a mighty 3600, which, it's a throwback to classic 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘 cards. Then we got Junk Collector, who has a quick effect. You can banish him from the field, although he's a level 5, and that's kind of unfortunate. And 1 normal trap in your graveyard to apply the Banish Traps effect. Don't have to pay costs as long as the requirements are all still correct. So people are trying to use this in like Magical Explosion FTKs and some dumb stuff like that. But I don't know, it's pretty interesting. If nothing else, it's just a 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘 card that we're finally getting. Then we got Stardust Assault Warrior, unfortunately not nearly as good as the Charge Warrior we received in Premium Gold a few years ago now. And it's a generic synchro, 2100 attack, 1200 defense, so kind of flip-flopped there for numbers. It's a level 6, and it says when it's synchro summoned while you control no other monsters, you can take any junk monster, tuner, or not from your graveyard and special summon it. So that's pretty cool, helps you propagate plays. You can only use that effect once per turn, and if it attacks a defense monster, you always do piercing with this guy. Most people are just going to play the Charge Warrior if they're playing 6, just so they can get the instant draw, I think, but it could combo in some junk strategies, because we have gotten a bunch of random ones in some of the packs nowadays as well. We have Martial Metal Marcher. This was another card from a premium pack, so I didn't know when we were going to get this, but we got it. It's a level 3 generic synchro tuner monster, and if it's synchro summoned, you could take your tuner or any tuner in your graveyard and summon it back, so you basically didn't use anything. Doesn't gain its effects though, so that's kind of unfortunate, but you get a free body on board for synchro or links, and then you can only use that effect once per turn. And then a synchro monster that used this guy's material is also treated as a tuner while it's on the field. So it's a tuner that makes a tuner, and then it brings back a tuner. So you basically turn your non-tuner into this guy. It's kind of interesting. Good for decks with tokens. Unfortunately, Dandelion's gone, but we still have Doppel Warrior in the game, so it'd be pretty interesting to see how that works. And wrapping things up here, we have Junk Connector, who's a fairly solid link monster based on its arrows and such for junks. Basically, it needs 2 effect monsters between warrior and or machine, including a tuner, so very easy to do in Junk Doppel. Once per turn during either player's main or battle phase, you can quick effect immediately synchro summon using the monsters this card points to as materials. So that's pretty interesting in that it gives an Excel synchro effect, kind of like a synchro tuner, to the monsters that you have regardless of what they are. And then if this guy, after it was link summoned, dies from your opponent's card by battle or card effect, you could special summon one of your junk synchro monsters from your extra deck and treat it as a synchro summon, which is pretty interesting for propagating some more plays. So overall, pretty interesting cards. They range from neat, quirky cards to collectibles to, just some cards that are actually usable. Like, I know I'll be using at least my 1 copy of Mud Dragon, probably the playset of Solid Soldier, if nothing else. So, yeah, it's pretty much what we have here. But guys, let me know down below what you guys think about, this year's rounds of product, what you think of the Megatins. I think overall, my conclusion from this case is that you do get a lot of variety in these cards. Like, there are some tins that are terrible, some tins are absolutely nuts, like the ones you just saw me open on camera, and so buy this product if you're interested in the variety and kind of want the celebration of the stuff from the last year. If you're looking for specific things, I wouldn't try and get it. Like, if you start getting on the level of a case or more, then you can start expecting things, but then it becomes really costly to do so. So, like, if you have specific things you're wanting, probably pick up the singles or trade for them. Overall, I do feel like you get a fair amount of stuff if you pick up the case, or even if you pick up some tins. It may not be exactly what you want, but just based on, I opened up 1 case of this and I feel like I got one of everything that I wanted, plus some other duplicate good cards like Firewall as well, so you can't really complain if you don't get, you know, your 3 evenly matched or whatever. You do get value out of this, so try to keep that in mind, you know, before you go and unintelligently start hating on Konami, because there's enough good stuff in here that I think it is a decent like a new trial setup for these Megatons. But that's my personal thoughts on this. Feel free to share down below what you think, and of course what you are looking forward to most from this set. So thanks guys, this is JD Gaming, hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll see you guys next time. That's the end of this video, but there's plenty more where it came from. I invite you to explore the playlists on screen to see what else I have to offer. And if you really liked what you saw today, consider subscribing to JD Gaming for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks guys, this is JD Gaming, hope you guys enjoyed as always, and I'll see you guys next time.